All right, everybody, what's up? Right off the top, we got merch. We are live with merch. We got a full merch run on our website. It's www.thestepbackpod.com. We got a full merch run. We got a couple hoodies, a t-shirt, a polo, some backpacks. So everybody make sure you go check that out. We actually have a collab with Champion too, which is really cool. All the Champion stuff is awesome. So all that stuff is available on the website. You can get everything is custom branded with our Stepback logo. Some of the things have our custom artwork with me and Pat's face on it, you know, talking to the mic. So everyone go check that out, thestepbackpod.com. We got a full merch run. We're going to have more merch coming soon, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Make sure you're following along all our social media. It's the Stepback Pod on Twitter. It's Stepback Podcast on Instagram. Make sure you guys are following along all the social media. If you're on YouTube, make sure you like and subscribe. And audio podcast, make sure you are following along everywhere you guys get your podcast. Subscribe there. Let's get into it.
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! Rebound box. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game! Is this the dagger?
Welcome to the Stepback Podcast.
What's up, Pat?
How you doing, man?
How we doing? All right, let's
good.
get into it. We got another episode of the Stepback here. A bunch of stuff to get into, so let's just jump right in. First things first, I want to talk about the PJ Tucker trade.
Dude, and all right, so before we even get into it, so explain the trade.
Okay, so right off the top. So Houston sends PJ Tucker, Karooks, and their 2022 first back to Milwaukee. And then the Bucks send DJ Augustine, DJ Wilson, and a 2023 unprotected to Houston. So according to Woj, actually, the Bucks GM John Horst has been persistent in his pursuit of PJ Tucker. That's the word that Woj used is persistent of his pursuit of PJ Tucker in the last few weeks. It was just a matter of time. They were going to get it done, and they got it done. What do you think? Does it change your outlook on the Bucks?
No. I mean,
nothing.
I mean, PJ's cool. I mean, I saw something yesterday that was like a defensive lineup of DiVincenzo, Middleton, Drew Holiday, Giannis, and PJ. And that's pretty nasty. I mean, that matches up with any of the better defensive fives you have in the league. I mean, that's a really good defensive
their
five.
Five is already awesome.
For sure.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys watched the game last night, but they played Philly last night. Ben was awesome.
Yep.
Ben was unbelievably locked up Giannis the entire first quarter, or first half. He had like
Pretty
8
much,
points on 4 of,
at halftime,
4 of 8 shooting or whatever. But, bro, I watched the entire game, and, I mean, Giannis had nothing for Ben Simmons. I mean,
in the first half.
Yeah. Totally. And then, sure enough, the second half comes along, and Giannis dominates the game. It goes into OT on DiVincenzo overplaying on a corner three, leaving Korkmaz wide open. He bangs the three to tie the game to put in an OT as time expires.
Yeah, the one guy you probably can't leave like that.
Yeah, dude.
It's his only job.
Yeah, totally.
Yep.
You can't bite on that inbound pass. Why would you do that? Yeah, so anyways, I don't know, man. Giannis scored the last 9 points of the game, dominated on both
took
ends
over,
of the floor. Yeah.
Won the game at the end, obviously.
Yeah, totally. So it's like, I don't really take a lot of that into what Milwaukee is because they didn't have Embiid. Philly didn't have Embiid. So
yeah,
it's
that's
like,
true.
At the same time, is Milwaukee going to go in there with PJ Tucker and automatically going to take them to the finals? No. This is not going to happen.
But does it improve their team?
Yes.
Does it improve their chances in their position in the East?
Yeah, that makes them a better team.
What about in the East? Does that improve their position in the
They'll
East?
be a top 3 team in the East.
Okay, so here's a cool thing that I saw today. So PJ Tucker, in the last 4 seasons, including the playoffs, he has 380 corner threes. That's the most by far. The next highest guy is Danny Green at 281. And then after that, it's Bojan at 239. So he's like more than a third higher than the next guy.
Right.
Substantially 35% more than the next guy from the corners. I believe that will unlock the spacing even more for Milwaukee and allow for Giannis to penetrate to the rim even more. But that being said, that's not really their problem. That's never really been their problem. We'll see. We'll see. He is a veteran presence. He is a, for lack of better terms, a badass, a tough guy. He can get in there, especially in the playoffs. like you said, defense, they can switch 1 through 5.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
totally.
He can play the small ball 5 if he wants to.
Totally.
He brings toughness. He brings a veteran presence. He brings, just that experience of being there, doing it. We'll see. We'll see if it really helps them. I think that it does help them. I'm not sure how much it does, but I think it's a big move. I think it really completely changes the dynamics of what their team is and what it's capable of. Right now, they're the 3 seed. They've won 9 of their last 10. They're a game and a half behind Brooklyn for the 2 seed. They're gonna extend Drew Holiday sometime in the next couple days, according to Windy. That's just a fact. Sometime in the next couple days, they're gonna extend Drew. That's defense. It's just, I don't know. So, how much more help do you think Giannis needs to get out of the East?
They don't have enough help. They don't have enough he doesn't have enough help. And I know that was the number one thing they wanted to go after when in this offseason, because they were like, all right, we're going to lose this guy. So we got to go get him help. And they go out and get him Drew Holiday, which is
awesome. Let's tell the whole story. What did they actually do? They tried to get Bogdan.
Yeah, it didn't work.
And then they got punished for that, and that didn't work. And they signed DJ Augustine.
Yeah.
He was supposed to
but he wasn't. That hasn't worked out.
Right, and that's sort of an indictment on John Horst in the front office of Milwaukee, in that this was your big offseason signing that was supposed to help keep Giannis here, because initially it was Bogdan, and then you couldn't get that, so then it became DJ Augustine.
Right.
It's like, and now you're just shipping him out for nothing, along with Torrey Craig, who is also another offseason acquisition that they picked up. They thought was
guy.
Yes, and they're sending him out to Phoenix for cash considerations. It's just nothing. So you guys are basically admitting that your front office took the L this offseason.
Unless, how much do you put into the fact of Drew Holiday? How much do you like Drew Holiday? That's what this all comes down to.
As a
how much
second guy,
do you like Drew Holiday?
Is he the second guy?
No,
is he the
he's your third guy.
I don't know.
I love Chris Middleton.
Me too. He's taking another step up shooting wise. He's having another unbelievable year.
He's like 50, 40, 90.
Yes, again, he's just phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
He plays awesome D too. My point is, man, does Drew Holiday?
I don't think either of those guys can create their own shot at an elite level, and I think that leaves them struggling when it comes time to get a bucket on the road in the playoffs, down 3-2. You know what I mean? I think those guys can do that, but Chris Middleton a little bit less than Drew, but
I think he could do it more. I think Middleton is a better shot creator than Drew Holiday is. I feel better with Middleton with the ball in his hands late in the game more than I do Drew Holiday. Yeah, and maybe that's crazy, but Chris Middleton's 20 a game, man. And Chris Middleton is, like I said, he's 20 a game. Drew Holiday, what? 17, 18, 19 a game? So it's I don't know, man. How much do you really put faith into Drew Holiday? Is Drew Holiday going to outscore Kyrie, Harden, or KD on the other end? No. He's an unbelievable elite defender, but is he really going to come down and shut down Kyrie or KD? No. That's not happening. He's an awesome, like I said, man, awesome defender. Great perimeter defender, but I don't know. In the big moments, there's guys that are going to get buckets on him.
Yeah, that's true. And then his offense isn't elite enough to negate that.
He's awesome, man, and I really don't even want to say Drew Holiday is like this because he's so nice.
Is he quote-unquote the problem? Is he quote-unquote the problem, for lack of a better term?
I don't think he's the problem. I think he could be on a championship team and be on a winning team, but I just don't think...
As a second or third option?
I just think there's better guys in the East, and I don't even think it's Drew Holiday's fault. I think it's Brooklyn's fault.
So today... ESPN, Talking Heads, Stephen A., Max, and Perk are arguing whose responsibility is it? Who's on the chopping block? Who's sweating? Who has more pressure? Who's the pressure on? Giannis or the organization?
It's on Giannis. It's on Giannis.
Because they argued about it back and forth, whatever. And I think it's actually on both. I think it's on both of them. Because
you're probably
the counterpoint being he's going to leave. He's going to walk. Okay, he just signed a big extension. I don't care. Save all of that for somebody who cares.
Right.
You just saw AD force his way out. Mm-hmm. You just saw it 2 months ago.
James
Harden do it. Yeah, that means nothing. Save all of that for somebody who cares. Go take that somewhere else. Don't bring that to me. Because I promise if tomorrow morning he decides to wake up and leave, there's nothing you can do. Well, the way this is set up, the way these guys have set this up and the power structure in the NBA, there's nothing he can do. There's nothing they can do, rather, if he decides to leave. The pressure's on both. The pressure's on Giannis. It's time, man. It's time. It's time to, at the very least, you need to come out of the East. It's
Right.
time. And that
To at least
sucks.
get there.
Yes, you need to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. And you know what? He doesn't have the same type of roster that the Nets have. That's tough. I don't know. They've done a lot. They've done a lot.
Like I said, man, it's not like Drew Holiday's fault. I'm not saying Drew Holiday's a bad player. Don't for a second think that I'm calling Drew Holiday a bad player.
Yeah,
because he's
same. Or
awesome.
Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
Or Giannis, as
Yeah.
much as I talk about his flaws. He's obviously incredible.
it's
He's
not-
he's one of only 3 players of all time to ever win an MVP and a Defensive Player of the Year in the same year. Obviously, I understand his greatness. His greatness is palpable. But at the same time, there are limits to his game where when he's your number 1 option, I'm not sure how far he can take you. But I am not blind to the fact that the pressure is definitely on him.
Right.
It's definitely on him.
Right.
And but it's also on them. It's also on them to continue to get better the same way all LeBron's teams have always continued to get better. It was never okay for them to just be almost good enough and then we'll just rely on LeBron's greatness. No, you guys better get better. I'm leaving. You know what I mean? It's the same thing.
So I'm going to take the pressure off Giannis because I think it's now just on the front office. I think you guys got to keep adding. I mean, we can't.
You have to keep adding. If it's not enough, yes, I know Giannis's game has limits. If the roster you've constructed around him and his limits is not enough, you need more. You need to keep trying, or else you're going to lose.
Yeah, you can't go to bed at night thinking Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton's enough because it's not. It's not enough. And Brooklyn is showing that. Why don't you go out and get Harden? Why don't you go get out and go throw all your picks you have and all these young guys and Middleton and whatever and go get Harden?
Yes, you could have done that.
What
Yeah, exactly.
Doing?
All these guys, every time that happens, 10% of the teams in this league could go do that. There's a handful of teams in this league, 10, 15, 20%
you came up
that could
short.
go do that.
You
They
came
did
up
not
short.
do that.
Yeah.
Okay, to play devil's advocate here, to fight for the other side here, the reason that I'll say the pressure is on Giannis and not on the front office is switch him and LeBron. Not this LeBron, Cavs LeBron. 2015 Cavs LeBron. If when LeBron leaves Miami and when he decides I'm going home, I'm coming home, home. If a different world happened right there and they got switched, and it's LeBron, that version of LeBron with Giannis's roster and that version of Giannis with LeBron's roster, my question is, who do you think that the pressure would be on? If LeBron had Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton, who's an all-star,
are we talking
40,
like
50,
today?
90, all-star guys, all defense candidates?
Yeah.
No, I'm talking
Today's NBA.
I'm just comparing the 2015 version of LeBron because he's closer to his prime, which is where Giannis is now, in his prime.
Right.
I'm just saying you have a prime, multi-MVP, legendary status player on your hand. And you're kind of you're acquiescing. You're kind of just saying it's okay that, we lose early every year because it's, the roster and the front office and the roster construction. It's like, I just think of the pressure, all those years and all that pressure that LeBron had. That's all I'm saying is you want to be heavy as the head that wears the crown. That's all. If you want to be the MVP in the face of the league and all that stuff, you don't get to get kicked out of the playoffs
in
early.
The second round.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah.
That's my thing. And so in that regard, in that respect, then the pressure is solely on Giannis.
I don't think it's Giannis's fault. Because I don't think it's fair that we are judging Giannis based off of a Nets team that is loaded with 2 MVPs and Kyrie. That's not fair.
Or a prime LeBron.
Yeah. It's
You're like
not
using
fair.
all these super
Totally.
things to judge him against.
You put LeBron, like you said in your analogy, where you're putting LeBron on this Milwaukee team.
Yes.
He
would be expected to
win. They
win.
get smoked.
No way.
By Brooklyn?
Oh, by Brooklyn.
Yeah.
I don't know. In the Eastern Conference Finals at the earliest.
Yeah.
In the Eastern Conference Finals.
Oh, yeah.
And we
I'm not
don't
debating
know,
that.
And I don't know the
He'll
Drew
kill
Holiday.
Philly.
And I don't know the Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton in 2015 LeBron doesn't beat this version of Kyrie, Harden, and KD.
That's what I'm saying.
You just said they'd get smoked. You said that Bucks team with LeBron would get smoked. I don't know that. 2015 LeBron? Really? The one that had no Kyrie and no K-Love and took 6 games off the Warriors? That LeBron? I don't know. They might take out that Nets team.
I feel like that's intense.
My whole point.
That's
I don't
intense.
know about that. You think?
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, bro, They're unbelievable.
I'm saying maybe. And we don't know what they are in the playoffs. We know what that 2015 version of LeBron, rather, is in the playoffs.
Bro, this is probably the greatest 3 players we've ever seen on the same team in NBA history.
2 MVPs and a all-star.
Yeah, top all-NBA guy. Yeah,
all-star.
sure.
Yeah. 2 MVP. Yeah, and I'm not saying it's not. And I'm still saying if LeBron was on that team, the expectation would be, at the very least, you go be competitive against that Brooklyn team.
Yeah.
That would be the expectation. The expectation was for him to be competitive against Klay Thompson, Draymond, Steph Curry, and Kevin Durant, which is 2 MVPs, a perennial all-star, a defensive player of the year. If you really want to break down the accolades, that team is stronger than this Nets team.
Yeah.
If you really want to go individual with the accolades and break them down, because you got Draymond, who's a multi-defensive, defensive player of the year, all defensive first team, exactly. And then you add Draymond and all his accolades to 2 MVPs and an all perennial.
I don't know, man. Player. I agree with you, but this Nets team is a problem.
They're a
problem. But all of this comes back to Giannis. This all comes back to Giannis. And is it Giannis' fault that he's sleeping at night and he wakes up in Brooklyn as Harden, Kyrie, and KD? They have no chance. Giannis, I mean, you can go out and get Drew Holiday and you can go get PJ Tucker. You have no chance.
You could get like all those random spare parts that you want.
It doesn't matter.
Really.
You're going to lose in 5.
I know what you mean. Like all those spare parts that are nice.
Right.
Go get all those guys.
So it's
Iggy, Jay Crowder, all those nice veteran spare parts. You could have them all. You're still not competing with those.
That's what I'm saying. So it's like, why are we looking at Giannis? So that's tough.
It's a fair point. But also, I can make the argument that he got lucky that super team was constructed this year, because this was the year that was make or break for his legacy in a lot of people's eyes.
He should have never signed the extension.
You don't get to win 2 MVPs in a row, go down in flames. You don't just get to dominate the entire regular season, be the greatest defensive thing we've ever seen, and the MVP every single year, and lead your team to historic numbers every single year, and then just crash and burn in the early parts of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You're not going to be respected over a long period. If you do that over a long period of time.
Well, how long does this... Now the real question...
I can make the argument he got lucky that Nets team came in and give him a built-in excuse for the fact that he has another year to try to learn how to shoot.
Well, now
he can't shoot in the playoffs.
Well, hear me out. So this is going to be another problem with Giannis, where Giannis is going to be stuck in this first or second round exit for like 3 or 4 years, man. How long is this Brooklyn thing going to go on for? Harden's got like 2 years on his deal. KD, Kyrie both have like 2 more years on their deal. What are we doing here? Giannis, it's
a lot of years, dude.
Giannis is not going to beat that team at all, period.
Probably. Unless he somehow develops a jump shot, but that would be miraculous. And even if he does, it's not going to be developed to the point where he can compete with KD's jump shot, Harden's jump shot.
And passing.
Would be like a clunky jumper that a big man develops, like Blake.
Or Embiid.
Blake can shoot threes. Don't get it twisted. Blake will rain threes on you.
Yeah.
But it's clunky and it's weird and it's kind of slow and he needs a lot of space and time to get it off. And he developed it over a long period of time. He's never going to be Kyrie or Harden with the 3 ball. Blake is never going to be like that. Just like the same thing will happen to Giannis. If he does develop it, it will be barely competent enough to scrape by. It will never become a strong suit of his game.
So,
and that's a problem. It's a lot of years. You're right. That's a long time the Brooklyn team can be together. It's a long time these LA teams have these superstars on their roster. It's a lot of mornings to wake up in your bed in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Which is another whole argument where it's like, who's going to go out there?
Right. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of mornings that you have to, and a lot of nights that you go to your house and it's cold, man. You're in Milwaukee and it's cold and it sucks. Your team's not that good. And you can't get anyone out there. And LeBron's having all sorts of people join him, and the Clippers are having all sorts of people go there, and the Golden States, everyone's going there, and people are going to Miami, and all of a sudden you're sitting there in the middle of the country where it's snowing, like 8 months, 7 months
middle
of the year.
Of February.
This sucks. How long can you do that for until you're like, this blows?
Yeah.
This blows. Listen to this. He doesn't even have to go to like LA. What's up with like Phoenix? How awesome would they be with Giannis?
Yeah.
Like, what's up with just like you don't have to go to one of these legendary, iconic franchises. A player at Giannis's level can go win somewhere else. If it's about winning, you don't have to just go pile on and go join LeBron and AD or Kawhi or Steph. You could go to a middle-of-the-road team and put them over the top.
For sure.
Not that Phoenix is middle. They're above average. But I'm just saying, like, then at least everything is still more balanced. It's more fun. it would be lame to see Giannis go somewhere
if
like
he goes
Golden
to like Utah
State.
or something.
That's
Portland,
cool. That would be
or
awesome.
Portland, yeah.
That would be totally cool. Phoenix, Utah, Portland, any of those teams that are like close. Mavericks. That'd be awesome. It'd be so cool because it adds a little bit more balance and a little bit more fun in terms of who's possible, who could win, things like that, you know?
So before we transition off this PJ Tucker thing, I do want to discuss the DJ Augustine trade because I know we already talked about it, but
yeah, we touched on it. But yeah, okay, let's get into it.
He got dealt in the middle of a game.
Dude, I think it's so funny when that happens, but I also
That's so bogus
I can
to
appreciate how terrible that must suck.
Dude, you got to think about this, man. DJ Augustine is like he's like a grown man. He's like 34,
He's a
35
veteran.
years.
He deserves
He's
respect.
got like a wife and
Yes,
kids and stuff. His
absolutely.
kids
Yes,
are
of
like in
course.
schools and
Yes.
stuff. It's like, dude, his family is finding out that we're moving our lives.
Yes, of course.
Through the broadcaster.
Yep.
And they throw like the little, the little caption down there, oh, DJ Augustine has just been traded. And they're like, dude, get out of here. You're not on this team anymore. He's off the bench. You're like, dude, what is going on? And I think it's pretty insane. And I know what you're about to bring up next, and I was about to jump on it, is Harrison Barnes. Is when
Yes.
Harrison Barnes got dealt in the middle of the game. And they
6
literally
minutes left in the
up-
game.
Yeah, they literally put him up. He's in the game. And then they trade him while he's on the floor.
Yeah.
And Carlisle's like, dude, come get out of here. You're gone.
I want to say it would be like if you had like a sales job or something. You took a meeting somewhere, and then when you got back to the office, you found out that you were fired while you were away at the meeting.
Right.
But it's not even like that because this would be like if you got back to the office, you found out you got transferred to the same company, but now you're going to be working in Florida or whatever when you're in California.
Or especially if it's somewhere bad, like, oh, you're getting stuck in Oklahoma
Right,
City.
you have to go pack
totally.
up and move. Like
Yeah.
you have to go move your life.
Yeah,
you have
totally.
to sell your house.
Yeah.
and go
Totally,
find a
bro.
real estate
Yeah.
person in a new state. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's like a real.
That's
thing.
what I'm saying. Like, I got my stuff back in the hotel. I gotta like drive back. I'm
Uh-huh.
not going with them. We were planning on going to
Yeah.
Orlando and then
Tough.
Miami with the
Yeah.
road trip.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, you have a plan for your next like week.
Yeah.
You have your life planned out. Yeah.
especially what if you're like DJ Augustine? You're preparing
I
for a
ordered
game, man.
I ordered a PS5. It's on the way. I gotta cancel that and
Yeah,
ship it
bro,
to the new.
what? So
there's
it's
a
like-
lot of stuff that goes into it. I'm making jokes, but there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. And
Yeah,
it
totally.
does suck.
But-
like as much as you and I talk about, they should take this guy and send him here and take that guy and send him there. It's like these are humans. and they
Yeah,
have-
like
and
the
they have-
human element of it is kind of whack.
That's
bro.
why I like listening to these guys talk. Like when you hear like JJ does a show and like Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. Like when you actually get to hear these guys and their perspective of how it all goes down, it's like it totally changes your opinion of the way
Yeah.
you were perceiving it before.
Yeah, because you're like, oh yeah, I'll just move this guy for a first, and then move that and get another.
and I'll
first,
take that
yeah,
first
yeah,
and move
yeah.
that for another guy and I'll flip him.
It's like, bro, yeah, you
Don't
gotta like,
do
yeah,
that.
yeah,
Don't
you gotta
do
like
that.
be nice to these guys,
Yeah,
man.
yeah,
So
the
it's like, but
people.
the other part of it was like, dude, DJ Augustine's like preparing for a game, man. He's like, dude, I gotta get locked in. Like, we're playing Philly. Like, we're the 4 seed right now. We're trying to move up to the 3 seed. This is a big game. Like, we're a couple games back, and it's like, damn, you come back to the bench, you find out you're getting dealt. Like, damn. Super
dude.
tough, man.
Yeah, I know, man. That sucks. I like DJ Augustine. I've always liked his game.
Yeah, he
He's
hit that
one of
game
those-
winner. He hit that 1 game winner
Dude,
against Toronto in the playoffs.
He's one of those player types. I always say Trey Burke.
Right.
It's the same thing. It's like if you need a point guard that can come, you can put the ball in his hands. He's not Rondo. He's not going to run the offense like that, but he will move the ball. He'll pick up a couple dimes. He gets guys involved.
And he knocks down open shots.
That's the big one. It's
Yeah.
like if you remember the Heatles days, that's what they wanted from their point guard.
Yeah, Mario Chalmers, Norris Cole. Yeah.
Right. I just need a guy to stand there. Just
Right.
be a guy standing there, and then
for
when
sure.
I give you the ball,
You just gotta knock down a shot.
Everything you learned about being a point guard your whole life, erase all of that.
Right. Yeah.
Imagine
no
like,
pick and roll.
No, none of that. Just imagine like Peja Stojakovic. That's you.
That's
now.
what you gotta
That's
be.
you.
Yeah,
Right.
for
and
sure.
so that's how like Luka uses Trey Burke, and that's how LeBron has always used those type of point guards, and that's when you have a guy like that, like, dude, it's just an awesome part of your offense. It's why when the ball is moving around in Philly, you only have 80% of the shot attempts that Golden State has available.
Right.
Because as players move and the ball moves, sometimes it's gonna wind up that it gets kicked to Ben in the corner and he's wide open and he won't pull it because he can't really pull it.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, if you have all 5 guys they have a trustworthy shot, it just opens.
He made a 3 last night. I don't know if that means anything.
It means nothing, but good of you to point it out. Fair enough. Fair play to you. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, it unlocks your offense when you have a point guard that can shoot, especially when you have like a point forward. So you're going to take the ball out of the point guard's hands. Like, it's one thing if you're Rondo and I don't have LeBron or Luka or anything like that. Then you could dribble the ball all game long. It's fine. But if you're Rondo and I have LeBron on my team, dude, Rondo, you better learn how to knock down some jumpers. And he did last year, and that really helped them in the playoffs. But, like, that's what I'm saying.
I
like,
understand.
You need a guy there who, when the
For
ball's
sure.
moving around, you can kick it back to him.
But I think while we're on this Ben thing, I want to talk about Ben real quick.
Here we go.
Just because they played Milwaukee last night while we're on this Milwaukee thing.
Yeah.
So Ben, obviously, 7-foot point guard.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Freak.
Bro, he's so good. Like, I don't understand. Like, I genuinely don't understand. Like, guys like the Wizards, like that Wizards broadcast who just rips him in half. I know he talked about this a little bit, but I want to go more into it because not on the Wizards thing, but more on Ben, man. Because Ben is the best defender. I don't care what anybody says. You can give it to Gobert for like the 80 millionth time, and they're the best team in the West and whatever. But
between
Ben can
the
guard
size and the speed and the strength and the ability to switch all 5, it's like, dude, and he's got excellent. I said this last week too, but he's got excellent perimeter defense on ball, clamp you up. He's got excellent perimeter defense, dude. The off ball, chase you around.
Oh my!
And he's got excellent post defense against bigs down low on the block. So it's like between those 3 things, his defensive game. I don't know his numbers. I don't care to look him up right now.
Yeah.
All I'm telling you is with the eye test, I agree. He's probably the best defender in the league, all around defender. I mean, you can make an argument it's like Draymond or something like that. Yeah. But whatever. Like, I know what you mean.
He guards all 5
changes
positions.
The game.
Dominates
on the defensive side of the basketball.
Dominates.
Totally.
Dominates.
I know.
So, and guys like pick and roll, there was a play where Simmons is on the right arc. Like, he's beat. He's not even in the play. You know what I'm saying? He's guarding Giannis over on the right arc out for 3. And whoever it is at guard, Drew Holiday or something, beats, he runs a little pick and pop with Brook, and he's, coming to the lane. And Ben covers so much ground, bro. Drew Holiday,
he's 6'10". He's 6'10".
Right.
And he runs so fast.
Yeah, totally.
He moves like a guard. He doesn't move like a 6'10" guy.
Totally.
If I tell you 6'10", the first thing your head goes to is like the LaMarcus Aldridge type guy who's got slow feet. It doesn't go to like a guard. Like, this guy could probably move with Jamal Murray. Right. Without the ball, just in 3-cone shuttle drill, he could probably move with most of the guards in the NBA. Right. But he's 6'10" and 240 pounds. It's bizarre.
So Drew
makes no sense.
Yeah,
to be honest.
totally. So Drew Holiday's going up for this layup, and Ben obviously just pins it on the glass. He gets the ball, and he's going coast to coast, right? Drew Holiday is coming out of bounds to come guard him. He's guarding him full court. Ben hits him with a behind the back, another behind the back, another behind the back. Drew Holiday turns around in circles like 3.
Yeah,
Drew
spin
Holiday,
cycle, complete spin cycle. Yeah.
Unbelievable defender. Ben puts him in, like you said, the spin cycle.
Yes.
Goes up and just yams it with 2 hands. You're like, oh my God, man, is this guy the best player in the league?
He doesn't even know where he's at.
Bro, oh my God.
He doesn't know
like,
what
he's
happened.
out of the play, man, and he comes in, blocks the ball, takes it coast to coast, and leads him up. So
I know, man, but it's also the same argument that we just said about like Giannis and about like the point guard who can't shoot. It does limit your off. I don't care how good you are individually as a basketball player and how skilled you are, like Ben and Giannis and those type of players. If you don't have a reliable jumper in space, I don't even mean off the dribble, create your own shot, and knock something down like Lou Williams and Jordan Clarkson. That's not what I'm talking about. I just mean let me pass you the ball when you're open, you shoot it from 20 feet away. If you don't have that, dude, that limits your team's chances of putting the ball in the basket. It's very simple. It's simple math. You know what I mean? Like, the more times the ball goes in the basket, the more we're going to win if we could do that more often.
Right.
If we got a guy who can't put the ball in the basket or who has less ways to put the ball in the basket, it lessens our chances of winning the game.
Right.
I don't think that's like a controversial take. I agree in like a weird sense of what that guy's saying. I know what he's saying. First of all, let's backtrack. That Wizards announcer is trying to be controversial because he's trying to stick up for Russell Westbrook. Right. Is what he's doing. Right. I know what he's doing.
Totally.
But his point still stands that Ben's like 16 a game. Like, there's guys in the league who are 30. Trey's 29 and 8.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like total points responsible for, let's chalk them up. Ben's like 30 more a game.
Yeah.
20 more a game.
Well, Ben is
I'm
like-
sorry, Trey is rather.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
for
But you
sure.
know what I meant. Like
Yeah.
the argument is there. Your argument is there as well, which is that like he dominates the game in so many other different ways,
Right.
that it evens itself out.
Totally.
Right? Is that not your argument?
Well, that's
Yes.
my point, because it's like he eats on glass. He's
Yes.
an unbelievable passer.
One of the best
Easily
in the
top 5, top 10 passers in the league.
Basketball IQ, one of the best in the league.
Yeah.
He sees it before it happens.
And not to mention he's the best defender in the league.
And he's trained by LeBron in that way, in the sense of basketball IQ, quarterbacking, running the playmaking, running the show.
Right. But
he's always credited LeBron. He went
think-
to his camps and everything like that.
I think there's an equation out there where we could put it together and Ben wins a championship. I don't think he's one of these guys
That wouldn't
where he's-
surprise me.
That he is not a winning player. You can't put him with a winning team. He's so overrated. And you stick Harden with Ben, and another guy with Ben, another shooter with Ben. It works.
Yeah,
it works.
I
It
don't
works.
necessarily disagree. I don't know. I mean, we haven't seen that. It's possible. I think you need 4 shooters that all play D, but even still, it's like you kind of run into the same situation as Milwaukee, which is, and what happens when I game plan for that?
Right.
And I don't leave these guys, and I build a wall.
And I'll just guard
and I
2
make
guys.
Yes.
Yeah.
And either I'm going to make your other guys beat me because I'm going to build a wall, or I don't leave them, and you can go score 70 and nobody else scores a point.
Yeah.
You're going to run into that same problem at some point. Is Ben the one guy that can randomly solve that riddle?
No, I don't
know.
I
Maybe.
don't think so.
Maybe.
I don't think so. Because Giannis is at least
Giannis
shooting.
is a better scorer
Yeah,
than
he's
Ben.
out-
Giannis
yeah,
will go get
but that's not
40,
what we're
50.
debating.
Ben won't.
No, that won't happen.
No,
I agree
I'm
with
not
you.
debating his scoring skills. You're right. I'm debating the team's efficacy with them at the helm, and they can't shoot.
But I think Ben is probably just as good of a defender as Giannis is. I think they're probably
That's
on the
fair.
same
Okay,
level. And
somewhere
I
in
think
there,
I
yeah.
think Ben's a better passer, and I think Giannis is a better scorer. So at that point,
And Giannis is better on the glass.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely.
He'll get like
so,
17.
yeah, definitely. But so I don't know, man. I think,
know what you mean. I know what you're saying.
Like casuals
let me-
will look at Ben and be like, "Oh, Ben can't shoot. He sucks."
Yeah,
but it's like,
you're
dude,
right,
what are we
right.
talking
Of
about,
course,
man?
of
You gotta
course.
watch the game,
of course.
man.
But I'm just saying that the other argument could be made as well.
Yeah.
Like, I know you know basketball. I know you do.
Yeah.
And if some kid was in here talking about Ben Simmons being the best player in the league, I know you could convince that kid that he's wrong.
Yeah.
I know you
Totally.
could make the own argument against your argument.
Right.
You could convince me that Ben Simmons is overrated.
Right.
I know you could.
Yeah.
You have the
Yeah, totally.
everything in your mind to make
Yeah,
that
right.
argument. That argument also exists.
Yeah.
Anyone who acts like it's one way or the other on any of this stuff,
Yeah.
and they have the answer, and the other side
Yeah,
is wrong
yeah,
no matter
yeah.
what, is completely
You're
out
wrong.
of their mind.
You're wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
completely out of their mind. We're all guessing. We're all speculating here.
Totally.
I
I
know
would've-
what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. Just like I'm sure you know what that guy means.
Totally.
You may disagree, but you're like, I know what he's doing. Like, I know what he's saying. Like, the question is, how far can you go if your best player or second best player can't shoot? That's the question. We're seeing it play out.
Yeah.
We're seeing it play out over and over again.
My question is, if you make that trade with Philly, right, and you send Ben to Houston, right, Ben takes that team to the playoffs.
What, this current Houston
Yes.
team, or you mean you make the Harden Ben
yeah,
deal?
the Harden and Ben deal. So it's like whatever they have. I don't know if they probably don't have Oladipo.
So then they wouldn't
it's
get
like
Christian Wood. They don't have Oladipo. They don't have, or they would have Christian
Yeah,
Wood. They
Christian
don't
Wood's
have
there.
Oladipo.
John Wall's there,
They do have John Wall. So it's like John Wall,
Ben Simmons, and Christian Wood. That team's probably a playoff team. 6, 7, 8. They
That
probably
might be
lose
tough.
in the
That
first
might be
round,
tough.
but I think Ben with a couple other superstars as a top
Oh,
3
it's
guy.
so tough.
I think sticking Ben on a team immediately makes him a playoff.
I know what
team.
you mean, dude.
He's
I know what you
in
mean.
that
because he's like an
category.
impact guy. He's
Oh
not
my
a
God.
look at the box score guy.
Yeah,
I know what
bro.
you're saying, man. I know what you're saying.
You don't believe that?
He part of me does. Part of me
it's
does.
tough.
Just like part of me thinks Ben's super overrated. It's like I see both arguments.
Yeah.
I see them both. They're both
Yeah.
right there, and they both prove themselves to be accurate. sometimes. But you'll see both things play out in the same week where you're like, oh my God, this guy's brutal. He can't help me at all out here.
Yeah.
And you'll see, like you said, where you're watching it, you're like, this guy might be the best player in the world.
Yeah.
You'll see both play out in the same week.
Yeah,
And
totally.
So I don't know. I don't know where I fall. I guess you have to prove it to me, dude. Like, I guess you just have to prove it to me. It's the same way I am with Harden and KD and Kawhi and all these guys, dude. You got to prove it to me.
I just think
I'm not a huge fan of LeBron because it's just like innate in me and I have
just
it
love
in me
LeBron. Yeah.
No, it's because he's proven it time and time again. Like, what more do you need me to show you? Like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? It's like, you just got to do it. Just do it. We do so much of this, dude, between idiots like you and me talking and TV shows all day. It's like there's so much of this when in reality it's like the noise is all meaningless, man. Just go put the ball in the
I
basket,
believe
win the
this
game,
and
man.
I believe that.
Yeah, I don't care what you believe, man.
Yeah.
It's so it just
I need to see it.
the storylines and the narratives. There's always this. It's like, dude, I don't care. I don't care about any of that. Think about how much time was wasted trying to explain to people like you and me that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George are the two best wing defenders since Scottie and Michael. Oh my God, the way people said that, they just never stopped. It came out of people's mouths like left and right 10 million times a day.
Yeah.
Scottie and Michael, this is the new iteration of the 2-3, the two guard and the wing that can dominate offensively and shut everyone down in the wing. It's the best perimeter defensive duo since Scottie and Michael. Garbage.
Yeah.
You and
They
me
get
last
rocked by Luka.
all year last year we said it. All playoffs
Yeah.
we said it. And now again this year, Luka comes out last night, dominates those two guys again. 42-6-9. A lot of that was head up man-to-man with PG and Kawhi.
Yeah, PG's flying all over the
All
court.
over the court. I retweeted. I put it on the Stepback account. There's a tweet out there. And it's talking about just that. It's talking about PG and Kawhi and how they're such great defenders. And then it's just screenshots. It's not even a video clip. It's just a still image, a screenshot of like Luka blowing by them and them like completely sideways.
Yeah.
or
PG's on the ground.
their hands are on the floor and their leg is up. And it's like, it's just hysterical. It's like, listen, man, you guys can call yourselves all you want and you guys can crown yourselves before the season and you guys can be Scottie and Michael part 2 and you guys are this and that.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you just cannot guard this guy.
Yeah.
You've never been able to guard him. Not once in your entire time on the Clippers. Not once in any matchup have you guys been able to guard this kid.
Not to
He's
mention
22 years old. He gets any bucket he wants on both of you two. Head up, switch it, double him, whatever you want. He does whatever he wants, whenever he wants. I don't know why it's so noticeable that he always gets PG and Kawhi. Maybe it's just because they're the ones who draw the matchup because they're the right size. But every time every single time I've seen that matchup, Dallas and the Clippers, starting back to last year, I've never seen them been able to guard that guy. He just does whatever he wants, whenever he wants, and has every single. I'm sure he's averaging 36.5 a game against them. If you want to look it up in his career, yeah. It's embarrassing. They cannot guard him. He just dominated that game again last night. Did you watch it?
Yeah, unbelievable. I watched the first half and I fell asleep, but I watched the first half and Luka 22 at halftime.
There's nothing.
Or 22 at the end of the first quarter.
Nobody can guard him.
Or it might have been 22 at halftime. But honestly, he should have had like 30. I mean, he missed a couple open threes. I mean, he was to the line. He missed a couple free throws. It's like, bro, regardless of this, you're totally right. Not to mention, they skate by the skin of their teeth because Kristaps doesn't play in a big game again. And the Clippers lose, or the Clippers win. They advance to the next round. Who beats up with Jamal Murray? Gives them like 40 a game. It's like, what are we talking about here? Jamal Murray's like a career average like 17.5 a game. I don't know what that Jamal Murray was, but he's hooping you guys up.
Yeah,
So
he's never been back since. The one super Jamal Murray that existed in the world existed against Kawhi and PG. Hilarious.
Yeah, bro. So I don't know, man. That team is super overrated.
But dude, I mean the Dallas has been making a push here, man. Dallas has been looking better.
Yeah.
Luka's been looking awesome. When KP has played, he's looked awesome. I know we've been kind of following them.
Yeah.
They've been an interesting story for us all year, so I won't talk about them too much. But you know, yesterday one takeaway I did want to bring up from that game was the Clippers, and we've all known this, again, for 2 years now, 2 full basketball seasons, but they still need a point guard. Bad. They need a point guard. We talked about it last week. Everyone's talked about it forever. I'm not going to say it I'm not going to beat a dead horse, but Patrick Beverley is, I mean, he's hardly even a point guard. He's not a point guard.
He's
right?
like
He's
a swing guard.
He's a basketball
Yeah,
player.
yeah,
He's a
totally.
guard, kind of. But he's not a point guard.
Right.
I'm not sure what they can do in order to try to get one. Okay, so
they missed out on D Rose.
Okay, so listen to this, man. I spent a lot of the day today trying to look up how the Clippers front office can finagle themselves a point guard. How can they get themselves a point guard? There's no way. They have very few even avenues to take to try to get a point guard here. So listen. So they have less than $1 million under the hard cap. That's less than $1 million. It's like $900K. Okay? So what that means is that any trade that they engage in means that the guy coming in has to make less than the guy going out. So that's the first thing that makes it super tough. Ugh. Because of the hard cap. They're right up against that hard cap. They're bumping up against
PG just signed that massive extension.
So here you go. So they can't get anyone in any sort of free agent market, in any sort of buyout market.
I saw IT.
But the thing is they have $900K, which isn't even the league minimum. So, if you're going to even get a league minimum guy off the buyout scrap, you need to try. Well, you can, but you need to move some money around.
Right.
Okay, so that brings me to my next point, which is, okay, so like I said, they have $900K under the hard cap. So they're right up against the hard cap. Any trade they engage in, the guy coming in has to make less than the guy going out. They can't do basically any sort of free agent or buyout market. They're $5.8 million above the luxury tax. So they're paying that. They're paying luxury tax money. They have the luxury level MLE, which is used up. They don't have a movable first round pick at all that they can trade. None. Zero. Paul George has a trade restriction. Reggie Jackson and Patrick Patterson can both veto any trade involving them due to a 1-year bird restriction. Basically, what you're looking at is if the Clippers want a point guard, you have to move Lou Williams' $8 million contract. It's the only avenue you can go. Almost the only avenue you can go.
What's up with Luke Kennard?
Check this out. So they moved Luke Kennard, and they actually got 4 seconds back.
Okay.
They actually have 10 seconds that they can move. So it's not like they have no assets.
Right.
A second isn't great, but 10 of them is something. Yeah, it's something. So that being said, I've been hearing George Hill being floated around a little bit. He's a guard. He's a combo guard. He can play the 1 or the 2. He can get you buckets. He can shoot. He'll knock down shots. He can run the offense. He can get guys in their sets. That's a cool and interesting concept. Again, you have to move some money around. Most likely it's going to be Lou Will. Here's the most interesting thing to me.
He played with T. Lou, didn't he?
Who?
George Hill?
Yes,
Cleveland,
he has played for T. Lou before.
Yeah.
Which is another little layer that makes it interesting, another little ripple there. But now here's what I wanted to bring up, which is every indication has said that Kyle Lowry is not going to get bought out or moved. He's going to stay, right? He's going to stay.
This is interesting.
There we go. Now if I'm going to put on my little tinfoil conspiracy hat here, the only way that the Clippers can compete with the Lakers, let alone the Nets. The Nets are in a league of their own. Right. The only way the Clippers can compete with the Lakers, at least in their own conference, is making another move. The only way they can compete with the Nets in the other side of the conference to really win the whole thing is by making a big move. The move that needs to be made is a point guard. Okay, well, Kyle Lowry has played with and won a chip with both Serge Ibaka and Kawhi Leonard. Now, he's on a $10 billion contract. It's never going to work. Yeah. Obviously, that's hyperbole. It's like 34 or something like that, 35. Right. It's a lot of money. But if he were to get bought out and they were to free up that money with Lou Will's contract, if they were to make it available, I would not be surprised if Serge and Kawhi could convince Kyle to come sign for the minimum and try to win another chip in LA. Obviously, there would be a temporary Band-Aid and a half of a season thing. But I'm just saying, I wouldn't be surprised because I expect these teams to make big moves to compete with.
If I'm a Clippers fan, if I'm a Clippers front office member, that's what I'm doing.
That's what you want.
That's what you need to do. Yeah.
You don't want George Hill. You don't want Rondo. Atlanta's not going to give up Rondo anyway. Yeah. You don't want Rondo. You don't want George Hill. You want Kyle Lowry.
However,
it's unlikely it gets bought out.
Yeah, it's not happening.
All indications say it's not happening. I just want to throw that out there because
that would be awesome.
I'm trying to have fun here.
Totally.
Let's have some fun.
Totally. Yeah.
How can the Clippers win the title? Okay, how can they win the title? They need a point guard. They need a good point guard. They need like a Kyle Lowry at minimum.
Yeah.
Right? And then they're in the conversation. let alone Kyle Lowry and Kawhi and Serge have won a chip together.
Right.
You have real veteran point guard leadership, somebody to deliver passes to the right guys, get them in their sets, get guys in the right positions, be a point guard, which
Right.
they don't have. Kawhi is not a vocal leader. We all know that.
Right.
Kyle Lowry was the emotional leader of that team.
Right.
Well, you can rebuild that in LA. There's no problem with that.
Yeah.
They would be awesome. Does
Yeah.
anyone think they wouldn't be awesome if they had an awesome point guard?
Is
They would
that
be
team
awesome.
still? Does that
Probably
team?
not.
Yeah.
Probably
no.
not. But you see,
That's
what I'm
an
doing
awesome
here?
move, yeah.
That's the moves that. What are we doing?
Does that team
I
beat the
come
Lakers?
from the Daryl Morey school of being a GM here.
Yeah.
That's where I come from. Are we trying to win a title or not? Because if we're not, okay, what are we doing? What are we doing all of this for? It's not to come in third place or something like
Yeah.
that. Okay? If we're not going to win a title, we might as well just tank.
Right.
Or else we're just going to be in basketball hell. We talk about it all the time.
Right.
So what are we doing? If we're not going to win a title, let's make moves to make us at least in the conversation to be contenders, to possibly put ourselves in position to maybe win a title. Or else what are we doing? Right? Do you
Right.
think the Clippers have any chance of winning a title this
No.
year? Me neither. Neither do I. The only team outside the Nets that has even a little bit of a chance is the Lakers, and that's just because you think you never know with LeBron. LeBron might go for 56, 16, and 11, and you're like, well, nobody can stop him. Other than that, the Nets are pretty much probably most likely going to win the title.
Right.
Okay, if you're the Clippers, the Daryl Morey move is to make a huge splash like that.
Right.
Obviously, it's not up to them. It relies on a buyout and things that are out of their control. So be it.
Yeah.
I just want to
and
have
Lawrence
some fun.
Frank. It relies on Lawrence Frank, and who I don't. I mean, I love Lawrence Frank. I think he's done an awesome job with the Clippers. Even back with Doc, I mean, making that Tobias trade.
Same.
He had done an awesome
Who, by
job.
the way, deserves a little bit of respect because
Tobias or
not
Lawrence
only
Frank?
me, Frank too,
Yeah.
but Tobias.
Okay.
Not only me, but a lot of people in the basketball world were, kind of ripping on Tobias hard.
Well,
the
bro,
last
see, it's
last
so
season
hard
well, he's
because-
playing awesome right now, and he really, to be honest, has been all year.
Well, see, the problem is when we say these guys suck, it's not because
It's a
of,
lazy way to say
yeah,
it on
and
your
it's
and I's part.
because it's not true.
We
'Cause,
speak
like,
with hyperbole.
Tobias Harris is obviously an unbelievable basketball player. He's hitting big shots. He's
in the
I'm an
NBA.
all-star.
Right, he's hitting
Yeah.
game winners in the NBA.
Totally.
He's averaged 20 in the NBA.
The problem
Right.
is the money.
Yes, we always compare
And
it to the money
so
they're making.
the reason why is
we
we're
say
like,
Otto Porter sucks.
yeah,
'Cause
totally.
He's making 25
Totally.
million.
But on like a good team, he's awesome on like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 million.
Yes.
What's up?
Yes. Yeah.
Totally.
Right.
But
so you're always
my-
comparing it to your contract.
So the reason why I'm out on Tobias is because there's no possible way that Tobias can fit in with this team making $30 million.
And the other argument is there's no possible way that you think that choosing Tobias over Jimmy was the move to make. Of
totally. But
course.
it's like, dude, I can't pay Tobias Harris $30 million because we're not going to be good enough.
I know.
I'm not
I
going to
need more
spend,
money to get better guys because he
What's-
can't be my best guy. We won't
22,
win.
23
Right,
million?
right.
What's up?
Right,
But that
right.
other
I know what you
7
mean. I know what you
million,
mean.
like, that's where we get in the danger zone, man. And we're here for another 4 or 5 years with this? Oof.
But all right, so moving on. So I just wanted to touch on the Clippers. All right, so I mean the moral of the story is they need a point guard. I don't have faith in any of those guys until they get a point guard.
True.
I don't really care who it is as long as it's somebody
True.
that can run the show.
Yeah.
Now this is one of those situations where I don't need the DJ Augustine Trade Burke type point guard.
I need someone- yeah.
The quarterback. I need the Rajon Rondo, Chris Paul type
Right.
point guard. I need like the Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
I need someone who's going to run the offense like a quarterback.
True.
Okay, moving on. So
I agree. 100%.
I have to touch
They
on
missed
this.
out on D Rose. Sorry.
I know
Yeah.
that's tough.
Yeah.
I'll always remember that. So I have to touch on this though. Atlanta, 6 in a row. 6 in a row. They've lost 1 game since they fired LP. Nate McMillan's 8-1. He's got them back to 500. They're 20-20. They're 8-1. They're 3-1 against teams that are over 500. Dude, they're playing awesome. They're a 6th seed. They can get the 5th seed tonight with a win and a Charlotte Hornets loss. I mean, I guess my question is, how good can this team be? Even if they... All right, listen to this. So, like I said, they're a 6th seed in the East right now. Tonight, they can grab the 5 seed with a win and with the Charlotte Hornets loss. And even then, they're only a game and a half back on Miami for the 4 seed.
So, this changes.
Really, they could be a 4 seed in 2 days.
This changes.
And now you're talking home court advantage in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Like,
But-
how good is this team is my question I'm
So
posing to you.
this changes everything. Is this little win streak they have here? Because like a couple weeks ago we were sitting here, we were like, oh my god,
Dumpster fire.
This Hawks thing is so bad.
Because you couldn't even see any potential.
Yeah,
whereas
you're
now you
paying all
see
these
it.
guys, but I honestly want to give a shout out, and this is probably gonna make a lot of people mad, but shout out Nate McMillan.
Absolutely, I agree, man. I just said they're 8-1. He's got him back to 500. They were a dumpster fire. We could go back. It's not like we don't record all these. We have footage of you and me talking about it. We're basically like, dude, light that franchise on fire and send it out to sea because it's tough over there.
So.
And all of a sudden they're winning. They're 8-1 in the last 9
They have
games.
a great roster, man. I'm not going to tell you
We've
they don't have a
always said that.
Yeah.
That's why we were mad early on. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, you guys got a way better roster,
Yeah.
and you have the same record.
Yeah. Because a couple weeks ago I was like, dude, I'm out on Trey. I'm straight up out. Like
yeah,
I
know.
don't like the way he plays. I don't like the way it's working. It's just I'm good. I don't know where I stand, bro.
Man, these guys are so young. These guys are so young. That's the problem with them coming in after 1 year. You know what I mean? It didn't used to be like that. They were further along in their progression, not the progression of I literally mean like their NBA readiness progression.
Right.
And most of these guys come into the league, even though they come in and they have the skills to drop 45 as a 19-year-old rookie, they don't know what they're doing, man. They don't know what they're doing. If Julius Randle having a breakout all-star season where he's scoring as much as Embiid and rebounding as much as AD doesn't show you that we're judging these guys and writing them off too early sometimes, then I don't know what will. Because you have the perfect example sitting out there in New York. The guy, we've all known, anybody who watches college basketball, known how good Julius Randle could be for going on a decade.
Right.
He's in year 7 in the NBA, and we finally said, that's the guy I saw 8 years ago. It had the potential to be, right? We've always known Julius Randle. If I told you 5 years ago, hey, one day Julius Randle's going to be 27 and 12, you'd be like,
okay,
he probably should be. Yeah,
totally.
Like I could buy that.
So
I'm just saying we write these guys off too early because they come in so early sometimes, and I'm not mad at it. Hey, man, if you're 18 years old and somebody's going to pay you money to be a professional and work for them, you should be allowed to do that.
Definitely.
I'm not mad at it. Come in as soon as you are legally able to do so. But that does mean it's going to take longer for these guys to develop.
Yeah, there's a lot that comes with being a one-and-done player.
Think about Devin Booker, man.
Yeah.
Devin Booker has been in the league how many years?
Well, it's not even those guys. Because obviously those guys have reached a different limit. How about Cam Reddish?
Yeah, the guys who are like just struggling,
dude,
proving
we saw him
themselves
playing
as an NBA player.
With Zion and Barrett, and we're like, dude, Reddish is the
He was
third
one of my
pick.
favorite ones out of them. I was like, dude, he's awesome.
Yeah.
I liked him more than Barrett. I knew Barrett was better, but I liked Reddish's style more than Barrett.
Totally.
Barrett's got
But,
a weird, clunky style.
They're like, dude, what if Duke has 1, 2, and 3 in the draft?
Yes,
it's like, all right, now it didn't end up happening, and now we're in Reddish's third year.
And it's tough.
Yeah, we're like,
man.
dude.
It doesn't look good.
So, like, if I were to tell you, before we even got on this topic, dude, what do you think about Reddish? You'd be like, dude, he sucks. And I would say the same thing.
But
I would say the same thing, but it's like that's.
But it's also like we were just saying earlier. It's a lazy take on our part because we both know he doesn't suck, and we both know he has the potential to be. When we say sucks, like we're half joking, but like we're throwing that around too willy nilly to be like,
Yeah.
Like last year we would be like, Gordon Hayward blows. Like definitely not.
Yeah.
Like definitely not even close. Like when you say a guy sucks or a guy blows, like what you mean is like he's borderline out of the league.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like so. I don't know.
It's very hard, man. It's hard when these kids come out at such a young age.
Yes, they're not
because
ready.
there is a development phase that goes into it. But it's like, damn, there's people like Luka who just come in and dominate the league. But it's like there's so few guys that are able to do that. So it's kind of unfair. So. I mean, I don't know, man. It's so hard to look at Trey at this and be like, dude, Trey is a winning player. I can trust him to win in a playoff series. He's played on 3 dog shit teams and has never been able to win anything.
It happens with these guys, man. It happens with the best guys. It happened with Michael Jordan, who came in averaging 28 a game as a rookie and could not win to save his life. It happened with LeBron James, who came in, ready to become the best player in the world, like relatively soon. Yeah. He was the best player in the world by like 08 or something like that. Somewhere around there. Definitely, certainly by 10.
Totally.
You know what I mean? So it's like these guys come in and individually they have all the skills in the world, but they're not ready to win because they don't understand all of the intangible things that means.
Yeah.
It doesn't just mean, I can dribble, shoot, pass, score with the best of them.
Right.
No, man. It means you hold your teammates accountable and you eat the right thing and you're in bed and you're doing recovery and you have to be a professional. Yeah. That's why it's such a boring cliche story now. But like the story is LeBron went and learned how to win from D Wade. Like, dude, that's fair. That's legitimate. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, so to take someone like Trae Young, who not only comes in at 19, like are his skills of basketball incredible? Of course, my God. Of course. Yeah. But he's got a lot to learn, man.
Totally.
He's got a lot
that's my
to
whole
learn.
point. That's my whole point. So it's like when we say, LaMelo over Trae, it's because, like, dude, I'm watching him in his first year facilitate to everyone, make his entire team better, and able to take his team to already a top 5 seed in the East in his first year. But Trae couldn't do that.
I refuse to give up on Trae. I refuse to give up on Cam Reddish. I refuse to give up on these young, especially if you're a blue chipper your whole life. I'm not giving up on you because you're 23 and not. Dude,
and you're 8 points a game.
15 years ago, that meant you're a rookie. You're 23 in the NBA. Now it means you're in your 4th year.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it doesn't mean anything. These guys are blue chippers their whole life. Cam Reddish will be fine. I bet you by year 9, Cam Reddish is awesome. I bet you he's awesome, dude. It's just what it is. He's been awesome at every level of basketball he's ever played his whole life. I'm not ready to give up on these guys. Maybe the role guys who are just like, it's tough.
Kevin Knox.
Right, maybe. But with somebody like Cam Reddish, I refuse to give up on this.
I agree. I agree with you, but I don't know, man. This whole trade thing it's weird to see, but like it goes back to your original point, man. Show me.
Show all the time, dude.
Show me.
Or else, what are we even talking about?
Yeah,
just
me.
Go do it, and then I'll shut up. I won't have anything to say ever.
Show me.
So speaking about Atlanta and speaking about guys you might possibly want to give up on. So the other day, like 4 or 5 days ago now, I was listening to the Woj pod, and Woj says, quote, John Collins, I think, is unlikely to leave Atlanta. I don't think they can find value on a rookie contract for him. They're 6-0 since Nate McMillan took over, willing to go in negotiations around $90 million. I'm sorry, let me redo that. They're 6-0 since Nate McMillan took over as head coach. Words are tough, man. I'll figure it out. I think they can figure out John Collins' future. This is Woj talking. There was a limit they were willing to go in negotiations, around $90 million on an extension. He's just going to be a restricted free agent. They can figure that out after the season. So I guess, this Atlanta thing and this Trae thing and the thing with the guys and the thing with – my question is like, dude, that roster has so many assets on it. It has so much value on it that, like, they can move some of these guys and compete right now. Like, we're sitting here talking about, like, what Cam Reddish is and stuff like that. But, like, if the Hawks really want to try to compete, they can move some of these guys for veterans. There's nothing stopping them. Like, so I love John Collins. I think he's awesome. Right. Like, I just love him. I would love for
would
a
you
team
pay him
that
a max?
I like. Probably not a max, but right under it. Yeah. Like 20 or whatever. I'll give him 20. What's up with 20?
Would you, but like on like a team with Luka, you would give him a max?
I don't know. Is he the second guy or the third guy?
It doesn't matter. He's one of your 3 maxes. Would you give him that?
I don't know. If we're trying to win a championship, I'm trying to convince him to take a little bit of a haircut so I can get another guy.
Yeah, I don't think he's going for that though. He's like,
I know.
I'm 18.
Okay,
I'm 20,
but he's going to be restricted.
Okay.
So here we go. So check me out here. So in my opinion, John Collins and Clint Capella do a lot of the same thing.
Right.
John Collins and Danilo Gallinari play the same position, but Gallo can shoot better.
Way better.
Collins does shoot, by the way. A lot of casual fans think Collins is like a dunker. He shoots like 36% from deep.
Yeah, Gallo's like 39, 40.
Well, he's not shooting that well right now because he's in his slump. But for a career, Gallo's a knockdown shooter. Right, that's fair. So I guess my question is, for Collins, if he's going to become unrestricted, what should they do? Should they match? Okay, because like you can sign and trade him and try to get like a veteran that's going to improve. So here are pretty much your options. Sign and trade, just pay him what he wants, match a different team's offer to him, trade for like the future more. You're still trying to get in the future. Maybe you get a unprotected lottery pick because Bobby Marks, ESPN insider for trade insider for ESPN, said Sacramento Kings should throw their unprotected lottery pick for John Collins right now. And he said Atlanta should take that. If they don't want to pay him, is what he said. I should clarify. He said Atlanta should take that if they really don't want to pay him. If they truly don't want to pay him, take that unprotected lottery pick. Get Sacramento to throw you an unprotected lottery pick and take that. That works out good for both sides. So the question is, here, I'm going to let you rant. So you tell me, sign and trade, pay him what he wants, match, trade him for the future, or upgrade on the wing and just try to compete. What do you do?
You upgrade on the wing and try and compete because Trey's making $8 million. This is the whole conversation we always talk about.
Okay, so here's your problem. You move him now. He's on a rookie scale deal, so he only makes $4 million. So it's going to be hard to get.
Sign and trade.
Okay,
sign and trade.
okay. Or you could sign and trade, or
I take my offer back.
because he's on a rookie scale deal because he only makes $4 million. So it's going to be hard. John Collins is awesome.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard to get somebody who makes $4 million or less
for sure,
who's as good or better than John
for
Collins.
Sure. I understand what you mean.
So what you could do is throw more money into the deal to try to get a better player back. So you throw Tony Snell, his 13, plus John Collins is 4, or his 12, plus John Collins is 4. Now you have 16. Yeah. Now you can get a $16 million player back. That'll almost get you like Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine makes 19. There are guys out there who are excellent players who you can get with 16.
Why don't you throw him 25, 22, what he wants, and then you move him in? Now you're really
sign and
talking.
trade. So,
what's up with like Chris Stapps?
So you're talking about a sign and trade.
Yeah.
So like a sign and trade for Chris Stapps.
I need a max level guy though to fit under before I have to pay Trey. Because
exactly.
I have to pay Trey at some point.
Of course, yeah, and that's how you do it. Yeah, you got to pay. You got to sign the max guy before you pay the other guy. We've talked about that many times.
So
because you can go over the cap to pay your own guy.
I agree.
Yeah, right.
But they need to. I think they need to go and get help because I love Collins, like you said. Collins is awesome, but I also think that it just hasn't worked with Trey. I mean, maybe it will work with Nate McMillan. Maybe they win a playoff series, and I'm wrong about this. I don't know. But all I do know is,
what if they move into that 4 seed? Like
yeah,
I said,
totally.
they're a game and a half out.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That East is so weird. It's so open.
But it doesn't matter because you're going to run into Brooklyn and get smashed.
Nothing matters in the East, to be honest.
So what I'm saying,
I mean, it's cool for the future to be able to be like, hey, man, we had a home court playoff series last year.
We beat Indiana in the first round, and we went to the second round.
Yes, that would be very cool.
So I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think the Collins thing hasn't really worked with Trey. I mean, they've had 3 terrible years.
I hate to say it, but I know what you mean.
3 terrible years, and it took firing LP and hiring their assistant coach, Nate McMillan, to come and take them on a 6-game winning streak to put them back in the playoffs. So it's like, damn, I don't know, man. I think you could get a lot of value for Collins. I think Collins is a guy who has a ton of value around the league, and I think you could get someone that's a stud. You know, I think if you can finally make it work and you can get someone like a max level guy like a Porzingis or someone who's sick and that is on a bad team that'll play well with Trey, that'll make it work, I think it would be awesome, man. So I'm rooting for John Collins. I'm honestly rooting for Trey. I'm rooting for Trey. I don't want to hate on Trey.
How about the fact that you were arguing with his dad on Twitter a couple days ago?
Yeah, dude. So the whole thing with Trey's dad was like he was talking about how one of the tweet was
he was trying to convince people that Trey plays better defense than Bradley Beal.
Yeah, you're out of your mind.
Stop.
You're out of your mind. So it's dude, Trey is like. The tweet was honestly, why do you not like Trey Young? And my response was simple. He doesn't play defense. He goes to the line way too much that he's not going to get those calls of playoffs. Those are all facts.
Yeah, that's just
Those are all facts.
Yeah, that's true.
And Trey Young's dad was all mad about it and said that, his son is 22 years old, which is right. I mean, he's accurate. His kids are very young. There's a lot of room for development.
Yes,
but as of right now, yeah,
what do you want me to do? I'm calling what I see, dude.
Yeah, bro. That's what you told me to do. I don't know, man. I'm rooting for Trey. I genuinely want Trey to succeed. I like the way he plays. I think he's an awesome passer. He averages 30 a game.
Yeah.
So
and the scoring's not even the best part of his game. He averages 30, and the scoring's not his best thing.
So it's like
he's awesome. He has the potential to be awesome.
I want him to win, man. But it's like
he's cool. I like Trey.
I think the only way it works is if you sign in Trey Collins.
Tough. It might be. I guess we're going to see. We're in full swing of trade season.
Yeah, so trade deadline's like a week or 2 away.
Yeah, so I guess we're going to see here. It's not
I can't wait. This is a
massive. It's a week away.
This is a massive couple days for these teams that are like on the fringe.
On the border,
like,
yes. Totally.
Clippers and all this other stuff. Like, what's up with Cat?
Yeah.
Cat sucks.
I know, dude.
What? Like, someone go get one of these guys. One of these guys that sucks on a bad team. Minnesota's obviously got to blow it up. They should go with Edwards. Edwards is sick.
Yeah, Edwards is awesome.
Yeah, he's so good. So, I don't know, man. What's up with these garbage guys? What's up with Siakam? What's up with Towns?
Yes, these guys on these teams who aren't going to win. Like, let me get your due.
That's what's going to bring you over the top against Brooklyn.
You're right.
So it's like we could talk about all we want about Boogie and Drummond and stuff.
Yeah, but like those pieces don't.
Yeah, you're not going to do
unless it's Drummond to the Nets. Then of course that matters.
Then it's over.
Right,
yeah.
but other than that, if Philly gets, Boogie, that does nothing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. I don't care at all. That might win them one more game.
Yeah.
That does nothing.
For sure.
You need to go get somebody good. Like you said, Siakam. Like, what's up with these good players? Like, okay.
Is Cat even good?
Dude, I saw a report. I saw a report 10 minutes before we started this show. Did you see what LeVar said today?
Oh, yeah, trade Lonzo.
He was like, I hope Lonzo gets traded. He hates New Orleans. And everyone was like, first of all, I'm sitting in Chicago. As I've said before, if I take that camera and turn it, you'll see the Chicago skyline right here. We're in a high-rise in Chicago. I would love for the Bulls to go get Lonzo Ball. It'd be awesome. They have a 29-a-game scorer sitting there who needs defenders around him and people to pass the ball. Like, dude, that would be an awesome start for a team like Chicago, for a team like...
I wonder why he hates New Orleans.
Do you even think that's true, or do you think it's LeVar trying to just do some LeVar stuff?
I don't know. I genuinely don't know.
Same.
But
I never know.
It could be
that
both.
guy.
It could be both.
Yeah,
it could
yeah,
genuinely
totally.
be both. But also I'm sitting here thinking, why would you hate New Orleans?
Dude,
like,
do
Zion
Lonzo and
stuff?
his dad not even get along anymore? Like, I thought they had
he
a
like
falling
broke out.
I
and
have no
stuff.
idea.
I
To
don't
be
know.
honest, I don't care, dude.
He
don't
probably
care.
hates Van
Just
Gundy.
tell me where Yes.
He probably
that's
hates
probably
Van
fair.
Gundy.
Just tell me, because he took the ball out of his hands. Just tell me where Lonzo's going to go, and then we'll move on, because I certainly don't care what LeVar Ball has to say.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with him, but, like,
Show me, dog.
I don't care. Yeah, stop. All right, a couple last things. Utah sweeps the Boston series. That's pretty wild, huh?
Yeah, Utah's remain legit.
Dude, they are legit.
So-
they're legitimate.
so
it's gonna take an effort. To
I
knock them
heard
out.
this on Russillo's podcast. But also, Ryan Russillo, awesome guy. Just
Yeah,
to listen.
awesome follow and
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, sick. So I
Totally.
heard this on Russillo's podcast, and I genuinely want to get your input on this because he was saying, dude, Mitchell is this. I mean, we've been saying this on our podcast too, but Mitchell has been the same. So the question is, do you trust Mitchell in those big moments? Because there are times where...
Dude, Donovan Mitchell wins playoff series on his own.
That's not what I'm debating. That's not
Donovan
what I'm
Mitchell's
debating.
impact is clear and evident.
What's up with like a true point guard?
That's we've always said that Mitchell's
Yeah.
career. They tried to play him at point guard.
Yeah, it
Half
doesn't
of his
work,
career
doesn't
now
work, doesn't work.
Has been spent
Yeah.
trying to play the
It
point
never
guard
works.
position.
Yeah. He can't guard point guards.
Nah, man,
so-
let him be a gunner. Just let him be a gunner.
Yeah.
Just whatever, dude.
I think with the Gobert thing, like if you can get a true point guard, like I love Mike Conley, but I mean we're running out of time here.
Yeah,
So if we could get a true point guard with Bojan and Ingles,
Yeah,
and,
I mean, dude, their team, we've said this so many times, but their team is just it's the true like understanding of team basketball, and what is it? The sum is more than the whole of its parts, whatever. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. They're the true epitome of that, because like none of those guys, if I were to just write those names down and say this is your roster, you would not be like, oh, this is like a 60-win team.
Yeah,
You wouldn't
right.
say that.
Right.
But they play together. They play in such a way that it makes them that, and it's hard to do anything. I still think they're very legit. I think that part of that is Donovan and his play style. I know that he doesn't get rebounds and assists. I know that he's pretty much a pure scorer.
Right.
But like, there's something to be said about he like gets a lot of hockey assists, and he moves the ball, and he saves the ball, and he gets loose balls, and he makes great plays. Like, he's like a leader, man. He's the spark. He's like, I don't know, man. He's got like some weird thing to his game that I don't know if we've ever truly been able to like tap into or understand or explain. Because you're right. It's just like he's like 28, 2-2, but he's like can elevate his team, and his team makes so much. It's bizarre.
Well, the whole Utah thing from the jump is weird. From the start, from the
Yes.
day he's drafted.
Yes,
It's
you're
very
right.
strange.
You're right.
Because Utah is like, they're full-blown rebuild.
Yes, they
Gordon
think
Hayward's
it's
gone.
over.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Gordon
they think
Hayward-
it's completely over.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward
They get this
walks.
kid from Louisville, and even Donovan, remember in his rookie
Yeah,
year,
yeah.
even he was like, I had no idea I was this good. I didn't know I could score 25 in the NBA.
And,
What?
And Mitchell comes out, and then he beats MVP Russell Westbrook. And everyone's like, whoa.
On his own, he just won that
Yeah,
playoff
yeah.
series.
Whoa,
on his own.
whoa.
And then
Who
the
is this?
next season, he comes out, does it again, wins
Yeah.
another playoff series virtually on his own. Don't get me wrong, not really, because like we've been saying, it's the team of
Yeah,
Utah.
totally. Quinn Snyder.
Yes, it's awesome. They got a whole team thing going there. But when somebody like MVP Russell Westbrook calls you out and makes it mano y mano, you versus him, and you win the series, I don't know what you want me to do but give you credit, man.
For sure.
Like, you outplayed that guy.
Yeah. Like, for, 7 games.
Yeah, 6, I think. But,
Yeah.
and then he
No, but
does
I
it
mean,
the
like,
next year,
back-to-back
too.
years. That's what I'm saying.
Yes,
For,
yes.
8 games, you beat.
Yes, like, just straight up outplayed him head up. Like,
Yeah.
And in a winning effort, which is obviously the most important thing.
Yeah.
You're right. The Utah thing's been weird since Jump Street, dude. Since
it's
draft day.
Yeah.
Even he admits it. He's like, I had no idea I could play this
Yeah.
good in the NBA. I wasn't even this good in college. I don't know
Yeah.
where. I put on 10 points per game from college to the NBA. It gets way better.
Yeah, in my
players.
rookie
I
years.
have no idea how I'm doing any of this. It's
Yeah,
truly
man.
like a legitimately awesome
The
thing.
whole point of this whole thing is not to hate on Mitchell, but I think the only way that we get Mitchell a ring is by getting him his second.
Pure point guard. It seems like that's a consistent theme on the show is teams
Yeah.
need pure point guards, man.
Yeah.
Well, I've said it before. It's the reason somebody like LeBron is so valuable. Because he's 27 a game and he's 8
Is
dimes.
Ben considered a pure
and
point
he's
guard?
8 dimes. Yes. Somebody
Okay.
like that. The
Okay.
quarterback.
Yeah.
I always talk about it. The quarterback, the guy who runs the
Sets
show.
up shots.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
right. It's the Chris Paul, the Rajon Rondo style point guard.
Yeah.
It's what makes LeBron so valuable. Is he is the guy who can score 27 a game. And, like, we're sitting here saying the Bulls would be awesome if they got Lonzo, right? Because
Right.
they have a 29 point a game score. It'd be awesome if they could get a 9 dime a game point guard to go
Right.
along with him. That's what makes LeBron so valuable is he's both those things in one guy.
Yeah.
So it's like they're basically playing 6-on-5 out there throughout his whole career because
Totally.
he's the assist guy and the scoring guy.
Totally.
It's like it's what makes them so awesome. So, but it does seem to be a consistent theme on the show where we're like, yeah, they need a point guard. Everybody just needs a point guard, other than Luka, LeBron, Ben, Chris Paul. Everybody else needs a point guard.
There's no in between.
Yeah. All right, man. Any other thing? Little cool note here. Trevor Ariza got dealt again, which, as we were saying earlier, is cool but also tough. They're humans.
11 times.
11th time, dude. So Knicks, Magic, Lakers, Houston,
Won a title with the
Hornets,
Lakers.
Wizards, Rockets, Suns, Wizards, Kings, Blazers, Rockets, Pistons, Thunder, Heat.
He's been on the Rockets
11
twice.
11 times. Yeah.
Yeah, that's intense.
Isn't that bizarre?
Dude, he was so nice with that Rockets
So he
team.
signs with Houston in free agency, gets dealt to the Hornets, and they deal him to
I
the
straight
Wizards.
up don't remember him on a lot of these teams. Like, I straight up never remember him ever playing for the Hornets.
So it's
like,
Knicks.
you're out of your mind. That
So he gets
never
drafted
occurred.
by the Knicks. Then it's dealt to the Magic,
Don't
dealt to
remember
the
that.
Lakers.
Remember
Then
that.
it's Houston in free agency. Then it's dealt to the Hornets, dealt to the Wizards, dealt to the Rockets. Then it's Suns in free agency.
I remember
Then
that.
it's dealt to the Wizards, dealt to the Kings. No,
Don't-
then it's Kings in free agency. Sorry. Then it's dealt to the Blazers, dealt to the Rockets again, dealt to the Pistons, dealt to the Thunder, dealt to the Heat. So he's been dealt 11 times.
That's
Traded
tough.
11 times. So it's the most by any player in NBA history. I just thought it was a cool thing. I wanted to point that out because, as you said,
Trevor
he
Ariza's
won.
nice. I would take him on a lot of winning teams.
Same, man.
Like,
He's
off
a
the bench.
3-and-D wing. He's awesome. He's a legendary. Obviously, he has the legendary run with Kobe, which we all, think back on fondly. So shout out to Trevor Ariza, man. He's awesome. He's always been like an awesome veteran role guy. Hopefully he can bring some cool stuff for the young boys in Miami because they seem awesome. They're trending up, so
Yeah,
it's always
Jimmy.
fun. All right, cool, man. Anything else?
We're good.
Cool. All right. Peace.
Till next time.
Later.